Welcome back. A manhunt is underway in Mexico after one of the world's most powerful drug lords slipped out of prison for the second time. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman escaped through a ventilated tunnel built right under his cell. Let's bring in Polo Sandoval, who has more on this and joins us from outside the prison. This was an absolutely incredible escape, and it must have taken a lot of planning, not only to build that tunnel, but also quite a few good connections on the inside. What can you tell us?
That's right, Linda. It would have taken a lot of planning, and authorities here in Mexico, actually just outside of Mexico City, believe it also took a lot of help. They're very confident that there were people on the outside that were helping tunnel their way into the prison facility that you see behind me. But now there's more concern that potentially there was some help on the inside as well for one of Mexico's most powerful cartel kingdoms. This morning, a massive international manhunt for one of the world's most powerful and deadly drug trafficking kingpins is underway. Joaquin Guzman, known as El Chapo and a major supplier of heroin, cocaine, and marijuana in the United States, staged a brazen escape from this Mexican prison. It's his second escape, and this time he busted out of a maximum security federal prison just west of Mexico City. Prison officials said guards at Altiplano Federal Prison performed a routine check of camera feeds and noticed Guzman was missing on Saturday evening. At 5'6", Mexican authorities believe El Chapo, Spanish for shorty, fit through a carved 20 by 20-inch hole located near the shower of his cell. Beyond that, a vertical passage with stairs leading to a tunnel stretching nearly a mile. The escape infuriated U.S. law enforcement officials who pushed for Chapo's extradition to the United States at the time of his recapture last year. They cited fears of corruption and questioned the ability of Mexican officials to keep him behind bars.
It's estimated that he may have murdered or ordered the murders of more than 10,000 people. So this is not somebody that's playing around with prison officials. He pretty much controls what he wants to do, and they go along with it. They look the other way to keep their families alive.
Guzman got out by way of an elaborate underground escape route complete with electricity, lighting, and tracks for a motorcycle and even ventilation. Investigators swarmed a half-built house at the other end, but Guzman was nowhere in sight. The now two-time escapee broke out of prison in a laundry cart back in 2001, on the lam then for more than a decade. A break in that case came in 2013 when investigators discovered 7 houses in Mexico that were connected by an intricate web of secret passageways. Guzman evading authorities through a hidden hatch under a bathtub. There are so many leads that federal authorities are following, including questioning some of the guards here at the prison facility. But most interestingly, we also know that authorities are looking into the possibility that some of Guzman's accomplices likely blended in with some of the traffic that we're noticing. There's several construction sites behind us. They're working on some of the infrastructure around the prison facility itself. So one of the working theories is that some of these individuals that were essentially carting some of this soil out that was being removed from the tunnel likely blended in with some of the folks that are actually doing some of the work around the prison itself. So there's a lot of questions still, but the main one, where is this very dangerous and powerful man at this hour?
Absolutely intriguing. Polo Sandoval, thank you very much for that update. And of course, the last time El Chapo escaped prison, he was out for 13 years, and the ways he eluded capture are vast and intricate. Malcolm Beith is the journalist who has extensively reported on the drug war in Mexico. He's the author of the book, The Last Narco, Inside the Hunt for El Chapo, and he joins us now from Kinshasa, Congo, via Skype. Malcolm, Forbes has named El Chapo as the biggest drug lord ever, worth about $1 billion. What can you tell us about him? Paint a picture for us.
Yeah, I think you know it's an accurate, simple portrayal of him. There's not that much in my research. You know, trying to find out things about him. You can look at psychological profiles. You can look at testimony taken by reporters. You can go reporting in the hills of Sinaloa, but there's a lot of mystery surrounding him. And I think what is clear is that he grew up in the mountains of Sinaloa, poor, but had a family connection to the drug trade and chose that route. He took that route and I would say, I mean, sort of never looked back. He was incarcerated in 1993. He was implicated in a shootout in Guadalajara of a Mexican of a cardinal, the Bishop of Guadalajara, and you know, he went to jail, and during his time in jail, there's testimony from other inmates saying, you know, I will never go back to the poverty from which I came. There's something driving him that is beyond just, you know, normal desire, normal. It's not just, you know, a paycheck. No, it's, you know, he clearly enjoyed running his empire.
No doubt. And we know the last time he escaped, he was on the run for more than a decade. Clearly, he is very well connected. Explain his ties throughout the Americas and Europe and even Asia.
I think, well, one thing, the ties around the world, very difficult to know, because when cartel operatives are arrested, or when so-called scouts are arrested in other countries, let's say Malaysia or Argentina, they may claim to be Sinaloa cartel, but they may not be, you know, exactly directly connected. But during his time, absolutely, during the last decade, I would say, law enforcement have certainly found links to the Sinaloa cartel on every continent on the planet, and particularly in Latin America and Europe, but also a little bit in West Africa. You know, some of those might have been adventure, you know, sort of scouts just looking to get a grasp of the market. But there's no doubt that the Sinaloa cartel, for instance, according to Colombian authorities, has basically imposed itself in Colombia as a major presence. Partly this is due to the Colombian cartels leasing distribution to the Mexican cartels. That gets them out of it. They stick with production. The Mexican cartels distribute. And the Sinaloa cartel has definitely gained a, you know, a large presence in Colombia as a sort of money laundering and representation hub.
Just explain how much help you think he will get on the outside. We know that obviously authorities are calling for people to come forward with information, but who can be trusted?
I think that is one of the big problems. I mean, during my time in Mexico, one thing I found was anonymous hotlines were set up. But how can the information be trusted? Can it be verified? You know, journalists spend half their time scrambling around chasing false rumors, and the authorities have to check almost every claim too. And that's one of the problems. You know, we talk about corruption a lot, but I think one thing you also have to bear in mind is human fallibility, lack of communication within agencies. You know, there's a lack of communication in most companies, let alone in intelligence agencies who are chasing a guy. How much help does he have? There are two factors. One, how far ahead of everyone else is he? You know, to be able to build a tunnel like this, he's always been ahead. He's always been ahead of everyone. You know, law enforcement, the good law enforcement that exists in this world, has to deal with bureaucracy. They have to answer to bosses. They have to answer to legitimate standards and procedures. The criminal, like Chapo Guzman, is always going to be ahead of that. How many people will, you know, who will help him? It's a good question. Who will dare report him? Forget the $5 million reward that's on his head. It's not that. It's, do you risk your life to do it?
Absolutely. Malcolm, we're going to have to leave it there for now. It's an absolutely fascinating case, and we would love to continue talking about it, but we'll have to leave it there for now. Malcolm Beith, thank you very much for joining us.